America. Its greatness is written on the parchment of our Constitution. It dwells in our homes and in our cities. And it is cast in rock on the mighty Mount Rushmore. We have all seen the majesty of those four proud faces: Washington, Lincoln, Jefferson, Roosevelt. And we have also seen on that magnificent mountaintop that there is room for one more face. But who? Who now deserves to be placed atop the rocks of Mount Rushmore? Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer is a man who knows America. A man who, more than anyone, has shared more moments with both the famous and the forgotten. Now is your chance to help bring Jerry Springer's face to the rocks of Mount Rushmore. Do it. Do it now. Go to rockjerrysface.com and join the movement. You will not be asked for money, only for your support. Mount Rushmore needs more. It needs a face that's been face to face with all of America. Mount Rushmore needs Jerry's face. Go to rockjerrysface.com and bring a new face to Mount Rushmore.
Welcome to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery, starring Jerry Springer with Gene Galvin and me. I am Maria Corelli. We are recorded live in front of a brilliant studio audience here in Folk School Coffee Parlor of Ludlow, Kentucky.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise, Judge Jerry Springer.
Hey, whoa, time out. What was that? I know we have sponsors. That was a commercial?
Well,
What?
I am not. Bring David Pruce on, our technical producer. What that commercial came to you, and is it running? You were telling me you hear it's running all across the country.
Yeah, I've heard it on podcasts, on commercials, and on YouTube ads. So it's all over the country. I've heard it several times.
What?
Yeah.
Is there a way to put a stop to this?
This is real. And by the way, Maria Corelli, our third voice,
Yeah.
who is a singer-songwriter, is
Yes.
performing tonight at Stanley's Pub. Don't go there right now. Go after the show is over. Our show's over. But anyway, so that's why I introduced Jerry. This is getting out of control.
This is stupid.
Well, I actually don't think it is. I have a higher opinion of you than maybe you have of yourself. But
No,
I think you deserve to be on Mount Rushmore. But I didn't start this. Let's
People
recap.
hear that, they're going to throw rocks at my face. They're not going to put me on a
Well,
rock.
this started by a woman in Laramie, Wyoming, and she sent us an email, and she has a website, rockjerrysface.com. I have been there. I'm just going to show you. The people are signing petitions, a petition to get Jerry's rock chiseled into the face of Mount Rushmore. And there are people like, I'm just run through some of these off the top because there's probably millions of these on this list. But there's Daniel Lopez, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Rich from Las Vegas, Roman from Brooklyn, New York, Charles Maniscalco. Remember Gina Maniscalco?
Yeah.
She worked in your governor campaign in 1982. So that's maybe her brother. Boston, Massachusetts. Dustin from Carmel, Indiana. Gene from Staten Island. Blah, blah, blah. It goes on. Janelle J. from Toronto, Canada.
Wait, you're being serious. I mean, there really is
There is a website,
I know you would
rockjerrysface.com.
never
I had nothing
shade
to
the
do with it.
truth in talking
I would
to
not
me.
do that.
That's just so unlike
this
you.
is happening, whether we like it or not. Now, I
Well,
will
we don't
give.
like it.
You don't like this? This isn't flattering to you that your face could go on Rushmore?
First of all, when do you think I'm going to sit for that?
Nah, we're not worried about that. Here is
No, when they
something.
do portraits, don't you have to sit for it?
Yeah, it's the
What, am I
second
gonna-
show, by the way. Jerry, read the rundown, Jerry. Hey, I got some emails. I got emails.
What?
Emails come in, stacks of emails from
Yeah,
each
just like
show.
that petition.
So here are two. There were probably, I don't know, David, what we counted a couple hundred, I think, emails
least
that
a
came
couple
in. A
hundred.
couple hundred. So I grabbed a couple. Rip and reads. Just grab two and read them. First one. Listen to this. This is from Cambridge, Mass. What a great idea to add Jerry's face to the Rock of Mount Rushmore. He's very deserving, and it would draw lots more tourists to New Hampshire. Tina from Cambridge,
It's
Massachusetts.
not in New Hampshire.
Oh, no, it's South Dakota.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cambridge is where Harvard is.
These are the kind of people.
Yeah, what's that saying? I didn't go to college, I went to Harvard instead?
Yeah.
But anyway, here's another one. I don't know what you people in Kentucky think constitutes a joke, but putting Jerry Springer's face on iconic Mount Rushmore is not only unfunny, it's constitutionally sacrilegious. My group and millions of people like me will rise up to stop your dangerous movement. This must not be permitted to stand. And her name is Ella Simpenzer, and she's president
Oh,
of...
she's always hated me.
Yeah. Ella Simpenzer, president of Reagan on Rushmore. She's from Dry Creek, Texas.
Oh. Yeah, because there was a movement to put him on.
Yeah.
At least he was a president, for gosh sakes.
Right. That's true. So I don't know. I
Why
mean,
not try to get a little hill here in Ludlow and
Well, that's interesting. You should
Face
ask
on
that
a little-
because I'm on the park
You're on the park board.
in Ludlow, Kentucky.
Well, why don't we do this as try getting this through and see how successful you are in that?
Well-
then you don't start out on Rushmore.
Let's see
Start out on your street in
All
your
right.
backyard. Put a
That's
little
fair.
mound together in the backyard.
Fair. I
Put
live.
my face on it and
That's
see
fair.
how it goes.
I live in a condo community up on the hill. And
They
maybe,
won't vote for it either.
Oh, no, they probably wouldn't like it at all. But there is a place. I will tell you.
So stupid.
So I'm in this meeting.
Yeah.
Guy from the National Park Service is there. And probed him a little bit about how do you get something on Mount Rushmore. I was a little vague about what it was because I felt if I told him Jerry Springer,
They'd kick you
I
out.
could get some pushback. So I just said, and there's a process, involves Congress. And so I don't know. I just think this thing has a life of its own and we have to see where it goes. And our fallback, yes, our fallback could be that it goes on the side of the incinerator at Ludlow, Kentucky.
Your idea should go in the incinerator in Kentucky. This is stupid.
Last point on this is when
Yeah,
we
no,
were in
that
New
was the
York.
last
That was when we were in New York City
Yeah,
a
we were-
week ago.
Yeah.
Last weekend.
Right, we went to New
We
York.
met some people on the streets of New York. People come up to you. They want to get a picture, a selfie. And we talked to them about this. And there were people who were signing. I suspect it might be some of the people we saw here who signed that petition on the spot. So this could, and David, this is either is on YouTube or is going on YouTube.
I've seen it a few different places, YouTube, Facebook. It's all over the place.
Okay.
And there's even an anti-movement against it.
Okay.
People that don't want Jerry's face on there.
Yeah.
Well, why
Those-
get me
those
involved
pricks.
in this?
Yeah.
You're just stirring up all these haters.
Oh no, we're not doing anything. All we're doing is David and I are standing there with our arms folded, observing what's happening, and we have smiles on our faces because we think, well,
Let's
isn't
have
this
a
interesting?
national poll. Would you rather have Trump or me on Mount Rushmore?
That's
I'd have
fair.
a shot there.
Let me do a focus group for you. We
No.
have, this audience has probably 200, 250 people. How many people want Jerry's face on Rushmore? There's your research, Jerry.
Yeah.
We don't need to do any more research. There it is.
That tells me how good your other research is.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. That's
I ask one thing. Please do not mock me for scheduling a flight home from New York City that was at 6 a.m. and I thought it was at 6
That's true.
p.m.
We went to New York for a weekend with our wives, and you were coming back on Sunday. We both were leaving on Sunday.
6 in the evening, perfect time.
Yeah.
One last, Sunday, have the full day in New
So
York.
we were going to have breakfast together, and then
Yeah.
we were going to go.
Yeah.
And what happened?
Woke up in the morning and my phone said, with my messages from Delta Airlines, your flight left 2.5 hours ago because I woke up 8:30.
It was 6 a.m., not
It was
6
6
p.m.
a.m.
You're a dunce.
Yeah. Yeah, that was not a good morning.
So you
for
wound
me.
up having to fly to Minneapolis.
Yeah, I did. I got home. I spent a good day and a half flying home. Hey, our musical guest tonight, let me
Yes.
promo this, and then I want to ask you a little more serious question. But we have a musical artist on tonight. This is very cool. Palomara is his name, and that's the name he goes by. He's a one-name artist, Palomara. And he is opening tomorrow night for the Milk Carton Kids at a series that takes place at this incredible venue in Cincinnati, and we're in Ludlow, across the river from Cincinnati, called Memorial Hall, a 500-seat music venue. It is amazing. It's recently been refurbished. And there is a series that is the Longworth Anderson series. So for the people who are listening tonight on our live stream or watching on Facebook Live, this show is tomorrow night, and there may still be tickets. So if you contact Memorial Hall and check out the Longworth Anderson series, the Milk Carton Kids are performing. Palomara is opening for them. He's excellent, and the Milk Carton Kids are a big-time, I'd call them, I don't know, roots, rock and roll. Do you know the work of the Milk Carton Kids, David?
Yeah, they're one of the hottest acts out right about now. I would probably call them folk.
Yeah, they're really, really outstanding. So we, the Jerry Springer Podcast, urge people who hear this, because some people hear this in an archive and it'll be over. Today is, what is today? The
26.
No, it's not. It's
26th
26.
of February. So the show is tomorrow night.
1987.
Yeah. And the show is tomorrow night. So if you're hearing it live, you may want to check it out. Man, Jerry, everything seems to be coming to a head with the Mueller investigation and congressional insight into what's gone on with Donald Trump and the campaign and the collusion charge with Russia during the last election. After all of this is done, because inevitably in the next few weeks, one assumes the Mueller report's going to drop. We don't know whether that's going to come, all of it, to the public. You know, all of that's sort of a mystery at the moment. After all of that is done, is there a chance that Donald Trump could skate after all that?
There's a chance, but I conclude no, that he won't, whatever he has done, he's not going to get away with it. And, well, right now it appears that the whole world is crashing around him, and yet you start to hear, because more and more there's a talk, well, you know, you can't indict a sitting president, and so far we haven't seen, the public hasn't seen the actual evidence of him colluding with the Russians or whatever. And so you're starting to sense among people that, you know, geez, after all of this, and he's been living this charmed life anyway with all the things that would have sunk any other politician, he seems to keep on going, that there's a feeling that, gee, maybe he will get away with all of this. He does seem to be getting desperate because so many of his latest schemes or proposals, in fact, for his presidency, most of them seem to be defeated. I mean, he keeps coming up with ideas that rational people say, this is a loser. Why is he doing it? The law is not on his side. And even if he loses the battle, he keeps on doing it. For example, you know, he keeps talking about this invasion coming to us, you know, on our southern border. Well, obviously, there's no invasion. You just turn on the cameras and you look, and there's no invasion. You know, when he tried the travel ban, that was knocked down. This building of the wall, that's going no place. He's now claiming a national emergency. There's not a legal scholar in the world that thinks that this qualifies for, quote, a national emergency, where he can, even though Congress refused to give him the funding for the wall, that he's going to take money on his own from elsewhere in the federal budget and build his wall because he wants it. All these things he seems to be losing, and his people know that, and yet he keeps doing it. And of course, what we figured out is he doesn't need to win any of these battles. He just has to show that he's fighting for his base. He's fighting for his 40% of the country or 37% of the country that is with him no matter what he does. The red hats and his minions. And if he figures if he keeps appealing just to this group, that'll be enough to get 1/3 of the Senate to not vote him out of office. Because he figures, the Democrats might impeach him in the House, but then for the removal, you need 2/3 of the Senate to vote his removal. So if he can just hold to 1/3 of his, which is his base, then he survives. And the truth is, over 1/3 of the Senate are Republicans from red states who will stick with him for any reason because they want to be reelected. So that's his whole strategy. We're all arguing the merits of the issues, and he said, he's probably laughing when he's sitting alone, saying, so I lose, big deal. My base knows I'm fighting for them, and they'll continue to support me. Their senators will continue to support me, and therefore I can't be removed from office. Now, does that mean that he can get away with whatever he wants to do? Which, when we're depressed, it seems like he can get away with anything he's doing. I say no. First, the legal reason is he can't pardon anybody for state crime. So his family will be subjected to whatever state violations, in the business world, in the banking world, or whatever crimes they may have committed in state crimes, the president has no power to pardon. Secondly, there is the Southern District of New York, which is an independent branch of the federal judiciary. They make their own policies. They make their own rules. And even though the federal judiciary, the Justice Department, has said it is their policy not to indict a president, remember, the Supreme Court hasn't ruled on that issue. It's just policy of the Justice Department. And the policy of the Justice Department, not the law, but the policy is that we don't indict a sitting president. But the Southern District of New York doesn't necessarily have that policy. So they might decide to go ahead, if they have evidence, to indict the president. So Trump can't assume that he's home free. Oh, they can't indict me. Well, maybe he can be indicted by the Southern District of New York. And that is why Mueller has been transferring much of the cases and much of what he finds to the Southern District, because he's figuring all along, if they try to shut me down, they can't stop the investigation because the Southern District has it now. And so that's always one thing to remember. Also, and here's the point I want to make, the Mueller report will not stay secret. It won't stay secret. Several reasons. First of all, the most obvious, there's no way that's not going to be leaked. Everything gets leaked. And once it's submitted, someone's going to leak it. No one is going to sit on all this information. Once it's handed in and Mueller's off the case, some reporter is going to find it. Someone is going to sell it. Someone's going to make $100 million on it. Someone's going to be on a talk show with it. It's going to be out there. It's going to be leaked. Secondly, Congress can subpoena Mueller, can subpoena all these witnesses. The Democratic Congress can. And they'll then have to reveal what they have found, whether it's the report or not, just in their testimony. It's a subpoena, and they can't lie to the Congress. So we'll find out that way. But there's also something I've been thinking, which I haven't heard the commentators talking about, which doesn't make sense to me. The Justice Department has a policy of we don't reveal information that we discover in our investigation unless we're going to issue an indictment. And there's a fair reason for that, because you could slime people, you could ruin their lives, ruin their careers by talking about stuff you're finding on them and publicize it, and then you don't even indict them. So they haven't committed a crime, they haven't been found guilty of a crime, but you've just smeared their name in the process, which is why forever, the Justice Department, as a general rule, doesn't make statements about people they don't indict. Now, Comey got in trouble because he broke that rule when he talked about Hillary Clinton. Remember, he said there's no indictment of Hillary, but I think she was very sloppy. And you saw what that did in the election. So that was a violation of their policy. But generally, the policy is if they're not going to issue an indictment, they don't reveal what they found. But then I go to the next step. But wait a second, you just said that you're not allowed to indict the president. So what was the point of a 2-year investigation if whatever you find you can't release to the public? Because either it's information that you got, because it's going to be information that you got, and you don't indict him because you're not allowed to indict him. So in other words, we've spent millions and millions of taxpayer dollars. We've ripped up the whole country and divided the whole country over this whole issue for 2 years, knowing all the while that you can't publish what you found, because you're only allowed to publish it if you indict, and you admit that you're not allowed to indict. So what's going on here? It seems so obvious to me. I must be missing something, because I don't know why this issue isn't being raised from the very beginning. As soon as Barr or whoever is up for Attorney General at the time they were saying, the senators were asking, will you release the report? Because America has a right to know whether the president has done anything wrong. Why didn't someone say, we're not allowed to? Because we're not allowed to indict him, and we're not allowed to give information if we don't indict him. Now, in the end, here's why I think Trump is going to meet his judgment day if he did something wrong. Okay, I suspect, like most people, that he did, but, I don't know the proof. But if he did anything wrong, the reason I believe that Trump will ultimately pay for this is because there are only two options. The one option is that we will find the report will come out because the American public's going to demand it. And as I said, it could be leaked. Or the Southern District why do I keep saying Ohio? I've lived here too long. The Southern District of New York will go ahead and indict him. And then, in the indictment, in their filings will be the whole report. That's the filing. So we will find it out. Even if the court rules against the Southern District, in the mere filings, we're going to find out everything. So the public will either find out because the report is published, either in filings or because someone leaks it, or let's say I'm wrong. Nobody leaks it. The Southern District doesn't indict him. And that report stays secret. Do you think with 2020 coming, for 1 second, if someone appears before the American people, say we've completed our report, but we can't tell you, we're not going to tell you, do you think there's any chance that Trump or any Republican who supports that position can be reelected? There's no way the American people are going to stand for an answer, something happened, but we can't tell you. How do you run a campaign then? Can you imagine every commercial everywhere in the country for anyone who's running for Congress? Any Republican running for Congress or for the Senate is going to be asked in a commercial, are you going to vote to release that report? What are they going to say? No, we don't think the people should know? There's no way out. That's why I think Trump can't escape this if he did something wrong. If he did something wrong, we're either going to see the report or he can't win in 2020 and Republicans can't win in 2020 because they'll keep it secret. Either way, that's a losing formula for another 4 years. I believe justice will prevail.
Hey, we're going to ask Palomara to come up. And let me remind you, Palomara is a singer-songwriter, and we're going to talk with him here as he gets pops into the performer's seat, picks up his guitar. And he is performing, for those listening live on our stream or watching on Facebook Live tomorrow night as part of the Longworth Anderson series. So welcome, Palomara. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How you doing?
We're going to ask you to do a song, and all of our performers do original music. That's what we love about this, and we do love featuring people who are either from this region, which is rich with roots music, the greater Cincinnati, tri-state area, Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, or people touring through. But tell us first a few things about the Longworth Anderson series that you're part of tomorrow night as you open for the Milk Carton Kids.
Sure. So it's a concert series. It's at Memorial Hall, Cincinnati. It's a contemporary multi-genre concert series that goes throughout the year. Tomorrow night's Milk Carton Kids in Verasola. Before that, there's a little reception with food and drink for the people that come. I'll be playing as well. So it should be a really fun night.
Yeah, that's very cool, and that is a wonderful place. I'm sure you're happy to be playing at Longworth Hall.
Very much.
Recently refurbished and now open, and very cool place. What's your song going to be? Tell us about your song.
Yeah, this is a song called Everybody Wants to Dance. It's off my most recent record called Voice in the Wilderness I just put out last year.
All right, here we go. Palomara.
Everybody wants to dance, cut a rug and get down. Turn up the music so they can hear the sound. If I wanted to dance, I probably could, but that don't mean that I probably should. If I don't, then my friends won't stick around. Everybody wants to dance, kick it and bust a move. Nothing too kitschy, just play it nice and smooth. I wanna do the slip, but she wants to grind. If the good times are rolling, then I don't really mind. There's more than one way to find a groove. I got no problems, no, I got nothing at stake. Good Lord. Sometimes a man's gotta shake it out so he can forget the thing he's going on about. I got no problems, no, I got nothing at stake. Oh, Lord. Sometimes a man's gotta shake it out so he can forget the thing that he's going on about. Everybody wants to dance, shoo-wop, rock and roll. Keeping the body electric until they lose control. Oh, I tried to resist with all of my might. I thought I had to show everybody the light. I'm looking for a way to satisfy my soul. I'm looking for a way to satisfy my soul.
Bravo! Whoa! Oh. Great.
Palomara. Opening tomorrow night in the Longworth Anderson series, Memorial Hall, Cincinnati. If you're around, check them out. They may have some tickets left. Opening for the Milk Carton Kids. And you said and there's a second act, too, Milk Carton Kids?
Yeah, Verasola.
Verasola.
Yeah, she's great.
Where can people hear your music?
You can hear it on Spotify, Apple Music, any of the normal streaming
Usual
outlets,
places.
iTunes, Amazon, all that. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to spell your name, make sure I get it right. Palamara.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And where are you from? Are you from this tri-state area?
Not originally. I'm originally from Dallas, Texas. Moved
Okay.
here about 4 years
Well,
ago.
welcome to America.
Thank you.
And your musical background is, do you study classically somewhere or?
No, self-taught. I
Self-taught?
Picked up the guitar when I was 14. Started writing my own songs pretty quickly after that, and still doing it.
You doing this full time now?
No. I work full time at Cincinnati Art Museum.
Nice.
Soccer coach at Seven Hills School part time, and
Really?
fit in music when I can.
Oh, that's interesting. So Seven Hills School, remind me of the guy who rode across the ocean is a cohort
Bryce.
of yours, Bryce Carlson.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And he was on the podcast a couple times.
Was he really?
Once in the middle of the North Atlantic, by the way. It was very cool.
Of course, yeah.
So if you'll take us out on Down by the Riverside, good old school hootenanny type song, Jerry Springer will join you.
All right.
And it's unbelievable. You'll see, it's unbelievable. All right, Palamara, Down by the Riverside,
Your
joined by
career
Jerry
couldn't
Springer.
last forever.
I'm gonna shake hands with everyone down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna shake hands with everyone down by the riverside.
You've been listening to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery, recorded live at the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky. Thanks to Patrick Kennedy for writing our opening song, and to you for listening. Check out our website at jerryspringer.com.
War no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more.
Jerry Springer.
Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study